Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 3 of CME 610 Data Science in Education. This week, we're focusing on data quality, data cleaning, and data preparation. This is one of the most important weeks in the course because it pushes us to think critically about the integrity of the data we use to make educational decisions. Last week, we explored secondary data and metadata. This week, we move deeper by examining what happens when educational data are incomplete, inconsistent, biased, or poorly structured. Data quality refers to the reliability, completeness, consistency, and usefulness of a data set. Educational data sets may contain missing information, duplicated records, inconsistent labels, inaccurate entries, or incomplete demographic representation. Poor quality data can lead to misleading conclusions and harmful educational decisions. Researchers must critically examine how data were collected, organized, and maintained rather than assuming data sets are automatically trustworthy. Data cleaning is the process of identifying and correcting problems within a data set before analysis begins. Data cleaning may involve correcting formatting inconsistencies, handling missing values, reorganizing variables, or checking for reporting errors. These are not only technical decisions, they're also ethical and methodological decisions because they're shaping how educational realities become represented and interpreted. One important concept this week is the idea of data deserts. A data desert exists when important information about communities, experiences, or populations is unavailable or underrepresented. Historically marginalized communities are often disproportionately affected by these gaps, and educational data sets may fail to capture cultural knowledge, multilingual experiences, informal learning, or students' lived realities beyond standardized metrics. What's missing from a data set can be just as important as what is included. A strong example is students experiencing homelessness in the United States. Although federal law through the National Center for Homeless Education and the U.S. Department of Education has required schools to identify and support these students under the McKinney-Vento Act, the actual education data is often incomplete and consistent or underreported, so the national data sets frequently underestimate graduation barriers, chronic absenteeism, special education, underidentification, or overidentification to access like gifted programs, and post secondary persistence. Another important example is Indigenous or Native American students, particularly students from smaller tribal nations. Educational data sets often aggregate them into the other category or report numbers that are too small for public release. Data quality is deeply connected to educational equity. If educational data sets contain incomplete or biased information, inequities may become hidden or misunderstood. For example, inconsistent reporting practices may obscure disparities in access, funding, or opportunities. Narrow definitions of achievement may also fail to recognize broader dimensions of learning, identity, and student experience. This week encourages us to think critically about how data systems can either support equity or reinforce deficit narratives. This week's readings on redistricting and representation help us think about how mathematical and geographic systems influence visibility and power. District boundaries are not neutral. The ways districts are designed affect political representation, funding, and community voice, as well as educational opportunity. Mathematics and statistics are often used to justify or critique district boundaries, reminding us that quantitative reasoning carries ethical and political consequences. Data integrity refers to the accuracy, consistency, and trustworthiness of data throughout the research process. Researchers have ethical responsibilities when collecting, organizing, analyzing, and reporting educational data. We must ask whether categories are clearly defined, whether limitations are acknowledged honestly, and whether participants are represented accurately. Even small decisions about data handling can significantly influence research findings and educational interpretations. One of the goals of this course is to help you become a critical interpreter of educational data. Critical researchers ask questions about assumptions, representations, limitations, and the impact on humans. Educational data is not only about generating charts or statistics, it's also about recognizing how data influence decisions affecting students, teachers, schools, and communities. This week, you will complete the Quant Hub module on data quality and cleaning, the geometry of representation activity, guided data cleaning practice, and the discussion board focused on missing data. As you complete these assignments, think carefully about the relationship between technical practices and ethical interpretation. Your reflection work should help connect these ideas to your own research interests and professional experiences. As we close this week, continue reflecting on several important questions. What gets lost when data are missing? How do educational systems decide what information matters enough to collect? What responsibilities do researchers have when working with incomplete or biased data sets? And how can educational data science move beyond identifying problems towards supporting more equitable educational opportunities? These questions will continue guiding our work throughout the course.